TurboGrafx-16 home video game console, or as it was known outside North America, the PC Engine, was jointly developed by Hudson Soft and NEC and was the first console released in the 16-bit era. This console ran from the late 80s to mid-90s and has had over 600 commercial games released for it. Today, we are looking at 12 of the most brutal action games on PC Engine that rocked an entire generation's childhood. Before we begin, I would like to ask everyone watching to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to always get the latest Marvelous Gamers videos. Let's begin. Splatterhouse. Starting off with a classic, we have Splatterhouse, a 1988 beat-em-up video game developed and published by Namco. Originally for arcades, the game was ported to the PC Engine with a few standard changes, like reducing graphic detail and cutting some sounds. The game follows college student Rick Taylor, who, after seeking shelter in the infamous West Mansion with his girlfriend Jennifer, finds himself donning the sentient terror mask in order to save Jennifer from the evil Dr. West. During this brutal rescue mission, you must bludgeon and shoot your way through waves of enemies that include grotesque, mutilated monsters, giant larvae, and undead corpses while using an arsenal of weapons, including 2x4s and shotguns, and leaving trails of pixelated gore in your wake. The PC Engine version famously had to censor a few aspects from the original arcade version, such as the level of blood and monster detail. Some other edits included the moveset of the final boss and the ending cutscene. Despite all these changes, the game was still very successful. Critics praised the port for successfully retaining the game's dark atmosphere and challenging visceral action. Bloody Wolf. Next up, we have Bloody Wolf, or as it was known in Europe, Battle Rangers. Bloody Wolf was an intense, military run-and-gun game developed by Data East for the arcades in 1988 and ported to the PC Engine in 1989. The game plunges you into a global crisis where two elite commandos, codenamed the Bloody Wolves, must single-handedly infiltrate enemy territory to rescue kidnapped allies, including the US president, from the enemy base. You must control either Snake or Eagle and navigate scrolling, war-torn environments. The core gameplay involves using powerful machine guns, area-clearing grenades, and signature combat knives for dangerous close-quarters takedowns. The violence is relentless, and a constant multi-directional barrage of bullets and explosives forces you into brutal, non-stop action against endless enemy soldiers, heavy artillery, and, of course, boss battles over 8 stages. Critics praise the game's PC Engine port for its surprisingly good cinematic sequences and the increased difficulty compared to the arcade version by removing the 2-player mode and adding more restrictive life mechanics. Bloody Wolf featured early examples of in-game cutscenes and digitized voices that added depth to the action. Double Dragon 2: The Revenge. Moving on to number 3, we have the sequel to the iconic Double Dragon. The game was developed by Technos Japan and ported to the PC Engine CD by Naxat Soft in 1993. The plot of Double Dragon 2: The Revenge centers around protagonists Billy and Jimmy Lee in a mission to avenge Billy's girlfriend Marion after she is shot dead by the Black Warriors leader Willie, who is retaliating against the Lee brothers after his defeat at the end of the previous game. What follows is a simple, furious tale of vengeance, as Billy and Jimmy relentlessly pursue the gang through the city's streets, factories, and ultimately, a final confrontation with the mastermind. The gameplay is defined by its fluid, punishing combat system, where players utilize a wide array of martial arts maneuvers, including flying knees, cyclone kicks, and even hair grabs. Ouch! To pummel enemy thugs across 9 stages and in 3 difficulty levels. The game's control scheme, which was similar to Renegade, assigned a separate attack button for facing left and facing right, encouraging tactical engagement and allowing for quick counterattacks. The PC Engine CD version stood out from its console peers, receiving critical acclaim and commercial success. Ninja Spirit. Moving on to number 4, we have Ninja Spirit, also known as Saigo no Nindo in Japan, fast-paced action platformer developed by Irem and released for the arcade in 1988 with a 1990 TurboGrafx-16 port that was famous for having two separate modes, a PC Engine mode and a more challenging arcade mode. The game's plot follows Tsukikaji, a young but skilled ninja driven by a burning desire to avenge the brutal murder of his father by a mysterious demonic beast. Set in an alternate feudal Japan, your quest takes you across 7 distinct stages, filled with enemies such as flying wolves, riflemen, and even undead warriors. Each stage culminates with a boss battle with bosses ranging from ogres to evil ninjas. A cool power you possess in the game is the ability to summon shadow clones, spectral duplicates of Tsukikaji that mimic his attacks and movements. You run through the game while using traditional ninja weaponry, including shurikens, scythes, and your razor-sharp katana, murmasa, and strike down your enemies with great viciousness. The ported version was a critical success, with critics widely praising it for its speed and difficulty. Violent Soldier. Our next game is a shoot-'em-up so violent it's literally in the name. Violent Soldier, also known as Sinistron, was a horizontally scrolling shooter released by IGS for the PC Engine CD in 1990. The gameplay is similar to that of R-Type and features the classic shooter premise. You control a lone starship named Violent Soldier, sent on a desperate mission to stop a massive, technologically advanced alien armada that is preparing to conquer Earth, which is led by a gargantuan cybernetic alien called Sinistron. Your mission is to defend the solar system, while eliminating the relentless alien forces across 6 distinct, beautifully rendered stages, with the last 2 being inside the Sinistron creature itself. Your ship, true to its name, wreaks absolute hell upon the enemy. You can also power up through various devastating weapons, including a wide Vulcan cannon, powerful homing missiles, and the immense screen-clearing Mega Burst bomb. Though both PC Engine and TurboGrafx versions differed slightly in the backstory, both versions garnered praise for their cinematic presentation, employing large detailed boss sprites and high-quality rock-infused CD audio that vastly enhanced the game's sense of military urgency and high-octane action. Legend of Hero Tonma. Next up, at number 6, we have a largely forgotten game that is actually considered a real Holy Grail collector's item in the PC Engine circle. Originally made for arcades by Irem, Legend of Hero Tonma was ported to the PC Engine in 1991 and TurboGrafx in 1993. The plot features the titular hero, Tonma, a young caped warrior who embarks on a quest across 7 fantastical European-inspired landscapes to rescue the beautiful princess from the clutches of an evil demon and break the curse cast upon the kingdom. The game was known for its notorious difficulty, as despite his colorful appearance, Tonma can easily be killed, forcing you to run this crazy gauntlet, leaping across platforms and dodging enemy fire all in the short span of 3 minutes per level, while eviscerating your enemy. Your main weapon is a rapid-fire energy blast that can be powered up to larger, more devastating fireballs as you face off against multiple mythological enemies, including bosses such as giants, skeleton warriors, and even Medusa. This vibrant yet devastatingly difficult game got mixed reviews from critics for not falling short in gameplay mechanics. Bravoman. Moving to lucky number 7, we have Bravoman, an inventive side-scrolling action game developed by Namco and ported to the PC Engine in 1990. The game stars Hitoshi, an ordinary salaryman who transforms into the cybernetic hero, Bravoman, after being granted a boon by an alien called Alphaman. Convenient. Together with Alphaman, Hitoshi must use his newfound powers to combat the evil Dr. Bomb and his bizarre army of robot monsters. The game can be described as a comical action game, where you use Bravoman's signature telescopic limbs. His arms and neck can stretch to ridiculous lengths to deliver powerful, often comically exaggerated punches, kicks, and headbutts to the relentless enemies that span over 30 stages. Along the way, you encounter various cyborgs, robots, and androids who drop Fuku items, which can be used to summon a power-up providing helper robot. Critics praise the ported version of the game for its unique, unconventional hero, its quirky humor, the technical implementation of the extending limbs, and its accuracy to the original arcade version. However, they did criticize the port's difficulty for being too high and making the game unnecessarily frustrating, particularly in the new levels. Dragon Saber. Next up, Our number 8 is a sequel to Dragon Spirit, the 1987 Namco classic. Dragon Saber, after Story of Dragon Spirit, was a stunning vertical scrolling shooter released for the arcades in 1990. It was later ported to the PC Engine in 1991. You control Huey and Syria, who have been transformed into a mighty, fire-breathing blue or red dragon to save their world from evil biomonsters. The game improves on nearly every aspect of its predecessor. You battle a variety of fantastical and mutant creatures across its 9 stages, culminating in unique boss encounters for most levels. Common enemies range from sandworm-like creatures similar to those in Dune to ghost monsters. The bosses start from a weird brain-like monster to different types of dragons and other nature-based monsters. Your dragon can shoot both fireballs at ground targets and rapid blasts at air targets simultaneously. There are different transformations your dragons can go through, such as an ice or a steel dragon. Critics praised Dragon Saber for its enhanced graphics, which featured stunning parallax scrolling and detailed mythological enemy design. The game was unfortunately released only in Japan and hence wasn't as popular. Cadash. Next, at number 9, we switch up from shooters to classic RPGs. Cadash was an arcade action role-playing game created by Taito in 1990. The adventure begins when the tranquil kingdom of Dirzar is threatened by the resurrection of the evil demon Barak, who kidnaps Princess Salasa and plunges the world into darkness. The console version allows 2 players to choose from the 4 classes: Fighter, Mage, Priestess, and Ninja. The game married side-scrolling platform action with the systematic aspects of RPGs, such as magic levels, potions, and attack attributes. You embark on an epic journey to retrieve the princess and vanquish the fiend, battling through 5 stages of orcs, bats, and even zombies. The fighting involves classic hack-and-slash combat combined with character progression, allowing heroes to gain experience, level up their stats, and acquire stronger gear from shops. The combat is relentless, and you must cut down endless waves of monstrous foes in a chaotic, close-quarters environment using your chosen class's abilities to the fullest. While the arcade version was highly praised for its visuals, the PC Engine port faced a more mixed reception because it did not allow continuing in single-player mode. Riot Zone. For number 10, it is time to step into the Riot Zone. The game, which was known in Japan as Crest of Wolf, was a side-scrolling beat-em-up developed by West and published by TTI for the PC Engine in 1992. New York City cops Hawk and his partner Tony quit the force to take on the gang-controlled area known as the Dragon Zone after a girl named Candy is kidnapped. The story is of a simple rescuing of the damsel in distress, Ilk. The brutal fighting in the game involves you playing either as the balanced Hawk or the strong but slow Tony, and traversing the city to unleash a barrage of martial arts attacks, including punch combos and jump kicks, against waves of enemy thugs, which are largely generic copies of villains from other popular brawlers and include ninjas, old people, and kung fu fighters. Bosses are quite weird, including one with blades on his arms and a dominatrix with a riding crop. I mean, who saw that come? The game received a generally average to mixed reception, with most critics considering it too unoriginal and too easy and short. Fighting Street. For our penultimate number 11, we are taking it to the street. Fighting Street, that is. This was the Hudson Soft port of the original Street Fighter arcade game, developed by Capcom, and was released for the PC Engine CD in 1988. Just like the cultural phenomenon Street Fighter, the game's plot centers on martial artists Ryu and Ken who travel the world, challenging 10 different fighters across 5 nations to prove their skill and be crowned the ultimate fighter. The core gameplay established the fundamental one-on-one fighting format that laid the foundation for fighting games and introduced the now iconic concept of special attacks like the iconic Hadouken, Shoryuken, and Tatsumaki Senpukyaku. Did you know the CD-ROM squared port was called Fighting Street to avoid paying royalties to Namco, who owned the trademark for the term Street Fight at the time? The PC Engine CD port was praised for its quality soundtrack and for being the most faithful console conversion available at the time. China Warrior. And finally, game number 12 is another fighting game from Hudson Soft. China Warrior, also known as the Kung Fu in Japan, was a side-scrolling beat-em-up launched in 1987. You control a martial arts master named Wang on a mission to traverse the Chinese countryside and defeat the evil Dark Emperor to liberate the land. The gameplay involves Wang moving continuously to the right, using punches and kicks to defeat a constant stream of enemies and obstacles across 12 stages. You must fight the bosses and lesser enemies while knives, axes, and even boulders are thrown at you from someone off-screen. While China Warrior was initially praised for its massive, and I mean huge, character sprites and detailed backgrounds, many found the shallow moveset and highly repetitive and the difficulty too hard. Marvelous verdict, and that concludes our list for today. How many of these games have you played? Which ones were your favorites? Do you have a favorite that is not on this list? Comment all of it below. As always, please like, share, and comment on the video as it greatly helps us out. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to be the first to be notified of all things Marvelous. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.